Hello, it is market day tomorrow, and you know what that means. We are in for another market vlog. Earlier today, I did a mock setup of my first ever outdoor table that is a 3x3 meter area. So I'm going to take you slightly back in time to a few hours ago when I was doing that. That's where we'll start the vlog, and then we will come back and talk about inventory and all of that fun stuff. I am setting up in my backyard, and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I'm feeling like I definitely should have tried this earlier, but I didn't, and here we are. I have stuff everywhere. There's like still things on the ground. There's pens and I don't know, all sorts of stuff going on out here. I don't know. I'm feeling really overwhelmed, but I'm hoping this will all work out. And at the end of the day, it's like not that serious and it will be fine. That's what I'm telling myself. That's what I'm telling myself. It doesn't need to be perfect. The birds are going wild. So if you can hear them, sorry, that is Australian wildlife for you. I'm gonna finish this off, or like attempt to finish this off, and then I will take you on a little tour of it. But this is it so far. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so stressed about this. It's like the first time I've ever had an outdoor like 3x3 meter spot, and first time I've ever had two tables. It's nice having extra space, but I just sort of, I feel like with the extra space I've tried to like put way more out. Like I have my bucket hats and bandanas, and like you can't see them, but I have market bags hanging off the gazebo as well. And I just, I don't know. I feel like out of my depth. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to keep plugging away, and we're going to see where we end up. And hopefully I can do it before I lose light, because it's 10 past 5 and it's getting dark, and I really thought I would be done with this by now. I thought it'd be way easier, but it hasn't been. So let's see how we go. Okay, I'm going to take you around. This is just stuff I can't fit, and the list of things I still need to get, which is like signage and things like that. And then here are some toys. These are like the more expensive ones. Bandanas I need to make a sign for. Here are beanies and bucket hats, which I also need to make a sign for. This little section here is like my $25 stuff that I also need to make a sign for. And then $20 items, $15 items, which are looking a little light on. I might need to like, I don't know, adjust that. My chickens, which I will have like the yellow hay stuff underneath it that I normally do. I just did not want to do that right now. Some scrunchies, some of my loaf cats. Again, here I will put the like opaque sheeting stuff that I had at my cat market, but I just could not be bothered doing that right now. Some of my hanging animals. These pigs and this koala that's fallen down, I need to still price. This is my microphone, ignore that. Some of the $12 items. I don't have keychains on these yet, but maybe I will do that tonight. And then here are some with keychains on them. Then I have the coasters and my $18 items up here. And then ignore our washing in the background, but these are the market bags that I have up as well. And over here, I also just have a couple of bandanas hanging up. You can't really see them. I just didn't have space on the table for them anymore. So I'm thinking that maybe I will get either like those coat hangers that have clips on them and hang them up that way, or I'll just not leave them like this and add more as they sell, hopefully. Who knows? Who knows? It's definitely not perfect, and I'm sure there are ways that I could improve it. But honestly, with my mental capacity right now and the fact that I'm going to be at this market in like 14 hours. I think this is just going to have to do. I will be able to make some signs tonight because I have a printer, I have a laminator, that's all fine. I need to make sure that all of the pricing is in my Square reader and like charge everything ready for tomorrow. And I might do a Kmart run because these little chalkboard things that I have my pricing on, I'm pretty sure were from Kmart. And I'm hoping they still have some so that I can make one for like the $25 section, which I don't currently have one on. Otherwise, I guess I can just like answer people's questions, but I hate doing that. I love everything just being like really clearly priced so that no one has to ask me and people can just make decisions and not have to like awkwardly walk away or whatever, because I don't want to make people feel awkward. I always hate at markets when I have to ask how much something is. And often if I have to ask how much something is, I just will end up not buying it because I'm a really awkward person. I don't want to have to ask the question. So yeah, that's my setup, and I guess we'll see how tomorrow goes. So as you can see, I am a little bit hesitant about tomorrow's market. I am mostly just a little bit concerned that I feel a little bit underprepared. I feel like this market, even though I've been talking about it for a while, it feels like it's kind of snuck up on me almost. I just was like not really worried about inventory for this one, but that kind of means I forgot that there's like a lot of other stuff that goes into a market, including like organizing, pricing, and, you know, figuring out what things are going to look like and all of that stuff. So I do feel like I have shot myself in the foot a little bit, but I am reminding myself that it was a pretty low cost market. This market only cost me $35 to go to. So it's really kind of like there's nothing to lose by going to this market. I'll see how it goes. I will have like a outdoor market under my belt. You know, it's all good. It's all good. So there are a few things I need to do. I need to put some of my labels on these bags, a few of my beanies, and my bucket hats, but I only have 6 left. So I think that'll be enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will not have enough for all of them. One of them will miss out, but that's okay. I think I can handle that. I also need to do a little bit more signage, and I'm hoping that tonight when we go to dinner, we can stop by Kmart on the way back and get those like chalkboard signs that I was talking about. If those are not there, I will find another way to do signage. It's not going to be the end of the world. It's all going to be fine. In terms of inventory, I'm not going to go through everything that I have because I've got like a whole bunch of bits and pieces and things like that. I will do a wrap up at the end of the market to let you know how much I sold. So at that point, I can tell you what I had, I guess. But in total, I do have almost $5,000 worth of inventory. I have $4,879 worth of inventory. I know that that's not all going to sell. I have no idea what the audience at this market is like. I have no idea what people are going to be looking for. I know that it's part of like a Sunday sessions type market. So it's not like the art markets that I go to where I know people are going to that with the intention of buying things and not necessarily just browsing because they pay to enter the market. They know it's an art market. That's the only reason they go to the event. This one, there are other things happening. There's music happening. There's like cocktail and food vans. So who knows? There could be a lot of browsers, not many buyers. But again, that's fine. I'm happy to just kind of see how it goes. I don't know if it'll be like families or couples or what. It is Father's Day tomorrow here in Australia. So I don't know about you, but I don't see many men buying my things, nor do I see many men being bought for at my store. And obviously that is a massive generalization. People of any gender can enjoy whatever the heck they want. I don't care, but I'm just trying to like keep my expectations level. I feel like if I was, you know, selling a different kind of item, maybe the fact that this was a Father's Day market would be a positive for me, but I don't. So it's not necessarily a negative. I think it's just like a net zero, you know. It's possible there'll be kids there if it's Father's Day. Who knows? Anyway, that is all a little bit beside the point. I do have a whole range of stuff. This is the first time I'm actually going to be trying to sell like bandanas and bucket hats at markets. I've done beanies before, but that's really it. You know, like I haven't done my market bags before. I take them to every market, but I've never actually put them out because I never quite have space. Whereas this, I have space, as you saw, to like hang them off my gazebo. So I'm kind of keen to see how those go. I need to decide how to price them. To be honest, I think like a fair price for how long they take is probably not a price people are going to pay. So I just need to find like a happy middle of a price I'm happy to sell them for. I really enjoy making them, to be honest. So like, you know, maybe that can factor into it, even though it shouldn't. Please don't come for me in the comments. I also have like a whole bunch of plushies, as you saw. There's a whole range of things. There are quite a few things that I haven't yet priced. I'm not sure if I'll just do that when we're down there on the day and like do it based on vibes. I'll make sure that I have some of my price tags and the little stitch markers I use to like connect them to the toy. Make sure that they're all there with me so that I can price them when we're there. We have a really early bump in. We have a 7 a.m. bump in, and I don't think the market starts until 10 a.m. and we need to be all set up by 9:30. Now, the setup that I just did took me so long, but it was because I was a bit overwhelmed and I didn't have a plan and I had like misplaced things. So I'm really glad I did it. Now everything is together. Kieran like spotted me just standing outside looking really overwhelmed. And he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't know where anything is. I don't know where my S hooks are. I'm not sure where my third, like the tiered shelves that I have. I'd only taken 2 to the cat market and I didn't know where I'd put the third one." Anyway, he was like, "It's all good. I'll go find them." And so he did find them for me. So now everything is together. It's all ready to go. It is packed up when he gets back he's just out at the moment. When he gets back, we will put it all in the car and we'll be good to go tomorrow. And then I can just like, when I'm there, I can fix up the pricing in my Square Reader if I need to, if I don't have time tonight. Yeah, I think I've talked myself around to feeling okay about tomorrow. And hopefully the people are just nice and it'll be a nice day out. It's meant to be really nice weather. Can't really ask for better than that at the moment. So I'm looking forward to taking you with me. I am going to put my little labels on these things and then I guess I'll just see you at the market and I will try and check in during the day. I'm almost hoping it's not like so busy that I can't check in because I know the cat market was like pretty busy. We were really close to people. This, because I have like a 3-meter square area, I have a little bit more space to myself, so I'll hopefully be able to like sneak away and do some little updates. I don't know. It's also not a very long market. I think it's 10 till 4. Oh, that's 6 hours. That's actually a decently long market. Okay. I think that's how long it is. I don't know. See how underprepared I feel? This is not normal for me. I've also had like the most hectic work week this past week and I just feel a little bit frazzled and a little bit everywhere, but whatever. That's what you get. And I have another market next weekend, so this can just be like a test run for that if needs be, All right. I will see you guys tomorrow. I will give you an update on how we're going and hopefully it's a good day. Hello, we are here. We've set up. We still have like an hour until the market. So it's a really early start and like more setup time than needed. So I definitely had time to do all of my like Square Reader setup today. I've just redone all of the pricing. So I'm happy that I've had time to do that. And there's still an hour to go. Kieran's going to find us breakfast because the food trucks and stuff here haven't set up yet. I did just see a sign behind me saying that there is brunch in the country room. So maybe he didn't have to go for a drive and find us some, but oh well, he has. I will let you know how we go. There is another crocheter here that seems to be charging a lot less than what I do, which I feel like is undervaluing, but that is fine. I'm keeping my expectations low. We'll see how it goes. The place is beautiful though. It's like this really lovely estate. You can't see that much of it, but yeah, they do like weddings and stuff here. So it's a bit fancy. There's some goats. There's some huge goats. I will do a walk around later. I'm sure there'll be like time for me to go and do a walk around and show you the market because hopefully it'll be good vibes. I think there'll be some live music later. So I'll keep you posted. I've just like snuck around the corner from where we are. All right, I'll catch you later. Hello. Okay, just for something different. I'm gonna let you guess how many days later it is than my market that I'm finally sitting down to do this wrap up. It's not as long as my cat market, but it is 4 days later. It is Thursday evening. But I'm here and I'm ready to do a little breakdown and wrap up with you. So I'll start with just like generally how the market was. I know that I didn't end up getting any like clips of walking around. There were a lot of kids around and I just like didn't want to take that much footage with kids around, you know? So sorry that there wasn't that, but it was a pretty good market. It was a really long day, I think is the like biggest thing, because we had to do our like bump in at 7 a.m. was our bump in time because we were sort of towards the back of the area. So we had to get our car in, bump in all our stuff, and then our car out so that other people could get their cars in. So we did have quite an early time, which was a bit of a bummer because then the market didn't open until 10 and it just doesn't take us that much time to set up. So we ended up like setting up for the most part, and then Kieran left and like got us coffees and breakfast and brought it back, which was really good that he could do that. I'm really glad I had him with me because I think it would have just been a really long day otherwise. It was a Father's Day event, which because I had booked it for the August market, which obviously wasn't a Father's Day event, I didn't realize that when I moved it to this September one, it would be a Father's Day market. So I think I mentioned this already in a clip for this vlog, but I obviously don't have that much Father's Day stuff. So I was a little bit worried, but it went really well because obviously there were still like a lot of kids around. So there were still people for my plushies and stuff like that, which was really nice. There were a few instances of like, it's Father's Day, not Kids Day, and like shuffling people along, but it was fine. All in all, like people were really lovely. I didn't get any comments about the pricing or anything like that. So it was all good. It was a really nice day out. It was beautiful weather. I guess, yeah, the only downside to the whole day was that it was just really long. We were meant to leave at 4 p.m. We ended up just like manually, I don't know the word, like packing our car early because it really had died down by basically 3 o'clock. So we kind of started packing down around 3, and then from like 3:30 actually just kind of took our stuff all over to the fence, and then Kieran walked on the other side of the fence and I handed it all over to him to take to the car. So I'm glad we could do that because sitting there for another half an hour on like a really long day, I think would have just, we were both so tired. It was such a long day. I think I was like in bed asleep by 9 p.m. But it was a great time. There was also like a bunch of other stuff going on. There was live music. There was 2 different live musicians, like if you wandered around the grounds, and they had like whip cracking happening and I think maybe some sheep shearing as well because it's on like a homestead kind of place. So it was pretty cool. It was like a fun event to be part of. There was food trucks there and stuff. So all in all, a good time. I think I would try the market again. I'd be curious now to know what it would be like when it's not Father's Day, like when they don't have all those extra events happening, you know what I mean? So maybe we'll try it again. I don't know. Let's get into probably what you care more about, which is my sales and how it all went. So I'm going to be looking down because I have the stuff on my phone. So sorry about that. Starting from like, I don't know, around what we sold least from. These aren't in any super particular order. So we sold one of my little octopuses, a bee, only one of my mini flockers, which I thought more of those would sell, to be honest. And a lot of people like looked at them, and I think a lot of parents were like trying to get their kids to buy them, probably because they were on the cheaper end, but only sold one in the end. I finally sold my gummy worm. I've had that for like 3 markets now, I think. So it was nice for that to go. I sold a capybara. And the number of kids who knew what a capybara was, like some of the parents were like, oh, look, it's a guinea pig. And then their kids were like, no, it's a capybara, which is like wild to me. Anyway, I'm glad that it was recognizable as a capybara and it found a new home. Also sold one of my turtles, one of the swinging animals that I have. I think it was the chick on a swing. I sold one of my last 2 leggy frogs, which is so good. These are 2 that I've had like almost since the beginning of my market journey, I think. So nice to get another one out of the inventory. I sold 2 of my little pocket-sized whales. I sold a Perry the Platypus, so I'm glad that I made those in like the Perry colors, and I probably will make a couple more because they got a lot of comments. I finally sold my blanket yarn Brontosaurus. I have had this for ages. I discounted it like heavily. I put it down to like $20, even though realistically it's probably like a $40 item or a $45 item, but I just have had it for so long, and it's quite large because I made it in blanket yarn. And I don't know, I think just something about the colors, and also I probably could have re-embroidered the eyes because I did embroider eyes on them, but it was like a couple of years ago, and I've definitely gotten better at embroidering my eyes. So they weren't the best, but they were still like good enough to sell. And this little kid just like fell in love with it. So very happy that that sold. I sold 2 of my $10 items, which I think were like the little sun and the little earth that I made from a free pattern in a past like free pattern testing video that I have here on YouTube. So if you want to see them, go and check that out. I'll put a card on the screen or something. I also sold one of my large chubby mushrooms and 2 pickles, which is good. I sold a Nigel the Frog in the blanket yarn. He got a lot of attention in the like My Patty's Plush yarn, but someone was just more attracted to the large one, so that one went home with someone. I did also sell my little leaf toy, like the Garden Sprite, which is by Crochet with Kelsey. That one I also like underpriced, but I just, again, like wanted it to like find a new home. I don't know, because it's not like a specific character or a specific animal necessarily. I think it's really, really cute, but it was like a pretty small make. So I sold it for 30 bucks, I think, which I am happy to have sold it for that. And I'm happy that it's found a new home and the person really loved it. So I also sold 2 of my little chubby frogs, 2 of the chickens, 2 of my little Georgie goose toys with like the little neck frill, which is a pattern I tested from Looped with Love. Those ones, I was so happy that they found new homes. I had them for like $35, I think, which again is probably like lower than what their actual value is in terms of time and things like that. But I think it was like a reasonable price, and both of them found a home. So I'm very happy with that result. Then I also sold all 3 of my rats. So I think I definitely need to make more of those for my next market, which is coming up in October. And of course, loaf cats in general were like the best seller overall. I sold 1 of the largest cat size, 3 of the kitten size, and 3 of the mini size. And I also had a really like unfortunate incident where a little girl had come and she had like fallen in love with a cat that was in this color, and I had a mini of it and a kitten in it, and she really wanted the mini version, and her mom was like, let's do a lap and we'll come back, which is so fair. Like, I don't want to pressure people into doing it. If you've just got to the market, we were one of the first stores if you walked in from a certain entrance like to do a lap. But then as they came back, literally someone bought this mini version in front of them. And I just felt so bad. And then the girl was really upset and like, just, I don't know. I feel like I made a little girl cry. I know I didn't, but like, it's just the unfortunate thing about selling crochet. And, you know, a lot of the time there's only one thing in a certain color that I have, especially like the larger items like that. So that was unfortunate. And then her mom was like trying to convince her to maybe get the kitten that was in the same color. And they like left the tent and were like right outside our gazebo having a conversation. And in the time that they were having that conversation, someone else came, asked me if I still had the mini gray cat. And I was like, no, sorry, it just sold. And then they bought the kitten one instead. So they bought the slightly larger one. And so then when the girl came back, the larger size cat in the same color was also gone. And I was like, this is so unfortunate. And this was like close to the end of the day. It was like maybe 1:30 or 2 o'clock. And I was like, these have gone all day without selling. And now all of a sudden there's been like 3 people who want them in the space of, I don't know, like 10 minutes. And Kieran and I were just like, oh my, what are the odds of this happening? So I did feel bad. They went home with a different colored cat, with like a black marbled cat, I think. And I have since got an order from them for one of those gray cats. I'm really glad I still had the color, and also 2 of my like little itty bitty bunnies. That's one of Zach's patterns. So I have made those for them and sent them a photo, and she's apparently very excited and kept asking her mum if I had replied yet. So I'm glad I had the yarn. I'm glad this story has a happy ending, but I really did feel so bad. And like on our drive home, I was like, I really hope I have that dark gray at home because it was a mill end. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to find it again, you know, if I hadn't had it. So all's well that ends well, and it added, a little bit of excitement to the day at least. Now, let's get into the money side of things, which I know people are always interested in, and to be honest, I know I'm always a little bit interested in as well. So ask and you shall receive / be the change you want to see in the world. I am going to tell you about it. In total, I sold 35 items for $755 as my gross income for the market. Then I had a few fees as always. I had a $35 store fee, which is really low for the markets that I do, which is good. It was part of why I wanted to do this market to test it out because it was a pretty low store fee. My insurance is roughly $33.25 when I divide it by all the markets that I have planned for this year. My material cost is roughly $51.94 for the items that I have done my pricing calculator properly for that I sold. That's what I know I spent on materials, but it probably actually would have been a little bit more. I had some card fees from Square, which equaled $10.10. So all up the cost or the outgoings to the market were $130.29, which means in total, my profit for the market was $624.71. That is in Australian dollars, of course. In total, I'm not too sad about that market. I think it was a fun day out. It was a long day, as I said, and we were really tired at the end of it, but I still made a healthy amount back. I kind of was even if I just make the store fee back on this one, at least I've tried a new market and I've, seen what's out there. I'm not sure if I would do it super regularly, but I feel I probably will go back to it. Definitely if there's some kind of event, I feel perhaps a Mother's Day event or any events that are aimed at kids or anything like that, I would go back for. I was meant to be going to one this Sunday as well, which is in the same location, but unfortunately I have ended up pulling out of that one. It was meant to be a 4-hour market on Sunday, but I just have, between work and a few other social things that I have on, and I have a big Frisbee tournament on Saturday, which when I originally booked this market was not on my calendar. So I just decided to pull out of it and protect my mental health and give myself some actual time off in between 2 pretty busy work weeks. So I'm a little bit sad about having done that, but also I think it was the right thing to do. I'm just going to burn myself out otherwise, and this way I can save the stock that I've got for my Colourful Minds market, which is coming up in October, and I've been to that a couple of times. It's always a really, really fun day, and there's just so many beautiful people who go, so I'm really looking forward to that one, and I'm happy for that to be my next and possibly last market of 2025. We'll see. So that is the market wrap up. I hope you enjoyed hearing about it and kind of seeing a little bit of the process. I know that I didn't have that many clips from the actual market this time, so sorry about that. I will try and get more for Colourful Minds because that one I feel a lot more comfortable walking around and filming what is there for you guys because it's a slightly older demographic than this market on the weekend was, so I'm happier to have my camera out. I am going to go and get myself some dinner now. That's the video for the week. If you liked this video, please feel free to give it a like, and if you want to hang around and see more crochet yarn related goodness from me, please feel free to also hit the subscribe button while you're down there. I would love to hear what you were working on while you were watching this. If you want to drop me a comment or let me know something interesting about your week or that you enjoyed from this video. I don't know, I don't mind. I just enjoy hearing from you. So thank you so much for hanging out again, and I will catch you in the next video, whenever that may be. At the moment, I can make no promises with my time, so I will catch you later. Bye.